A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. This is Asake Online. My name is Brighton Ncube. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about politics and different things. You know, the recalls have been happening and also news making headlines across the country of recalls and also elections. But today on the show, we bring a young person who's been working with young people across Zimbabwe and talking about education and trying to preserve the culture and also promoting the girl child in Zimbabwe. His name is Mayibongwe Maseko. He's the leader of Youth Zunde Ilima. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Breakfast Club.
Good morning, Ncube. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about Youth Zunde Ilima. What is Youth Zunde Ilima all about?
Okay, Youth Zunde Ilima is where youth in Zimbabwe and beyond engage in civic matters, law, economics, entrepreneurship, and human rights. So basically, it's a civic engagement space where we unite youthful voices and we add them to the fabric of development.
But also from the perspective of the Ndebele, I know Zunde and Ilima is whereby people are now doing agriculture and farming and so on, coming together to grow crops together. Let's talk about your context. What is the Zunde Ilima all about?
Okay, so after Ilima, we are expecting harvest. So what Youth Zunde Ilima does, we are disrupting the status quo. By disrupting the status quo, that's what we call advocacy. So after raising our voices to the policymakers and what we expect a harvest Ilima to our Zunde.
Let's talk about some of the programs they've been doing over the past years. What have you been focusing on as the organization?
The first thing we focus on is education. Before I talk about right to expression or what right to vote, education comes first. Before I talk about anything, education comes first. So our first project is education in communities and rural areas. So number one, we believe that in any society, in any progressive society, education is key. Also in the achievement of sustainable and development goals, SDGs, education is key. Also, I think a household with an educated person, they stand a chance to lift themselves from poverty. That's why we are more on education now. We are going to move on economics and some, but now it's education.
But also if you look at Zimbabwe now, young people have been complaining about the issue of education, right? We have been perceived as this a country with the most educated people in Zimbabwe. However, when you look at in terms of young people graduates now, jobs, we struggle to get our jobs as after graduation. I was following Parliament earlier on. The Minister of Higher Education was saying young people must go and create jobs for themselves, not from the government. What's your take on that?
Okay, thank you. I think that's why we are here as Youth Zunde Ilima. We acknowledge that the government of Zimbabwe, in terms of schools, I think we are trying. Let's come to Bulawayo. I'm one person who deals with statistics. In Bulawayo, when I counted, I think we have 188 schools, excluding some of the private and creche, which means in terms of schools, we are trying. Not forgetting the imbalances of that, some schools are far, but we have schools. So right to education. I think even in Africa, we might become the second because we have schools. But where is the crisis? It is the feedback, the outcome. That was where the SDG goal number 4, it doesn't say education only, but access to quality education. So the quality, there is no quality in our education. That is what we are trying to talk about. To have conversations like that. We can't say we have education and our economy is flottering. We can't have education and we say someone has a degree that was worth 6,000 and he goes to do a course that is worth 200 and then he goes outside the country. There is a question. We need to have such conversation. What is happening to the quality of our education?
Yeah, speaking of the quality of our education, right? Now let's focus on the state of the schools now. I mentioned 188 schools in Bulawayo. What is the state of the schools in terms of furniture and so on? What is the state of the schools?
I think the problem goes to the furniture and the resources. The first one, the resources on IT. I think as Zimbabwe does not belong in a vacuum. It belongs in a global competitive landscape. We have moved from a point whereby I'm competing with someone from Kulumani, I'm competing with someone from Rewa. We now compete in the global competitive landscape. A child from Chabalala should be competitive to a child from Egypt, to a child from Russia. How? Through technology. We need our schools to be a center of innovation and technology. We can't have schools without any computer, whereby I see a computer when I'm going to pay my fees, or I see a computer when I'm going to pay my bills at the city council or what. We need to have technology in our schools. That is the first for the quality. And also number 2, I think we need to all participate in that. I liked your introduction. You said we are removing the jackets of politics. We have to participate in Bulawayo. We are saying a school is 2,000 students. We might have 800 parents who are also key household in their families. So let's come together and say, parents, I like it when we have buses that are written donated by SDCs. Let's say parents in the school, we meet and say, no, let's use this school to be an active economy for the community. We have greenhouses, we have agriculture. Let's have good projects in the school whereby the parents, they no longer go and buy by the market, but they go and buy at the school. And then at the same time, the economy is just moving in townships. And when the economy is moving in township, that's why we can contribute to having IT in our communities, because we now have a money that does not come from school fees, but they come from parents, they come from the project. I think we need that for township tourism. That is a big thing. So I think what we need is to participate and say, we've seen government, we've seen what we now have to participate, so that we also, I like Owindi. You see, Owindi understand the township, because Owindi, if he gets mali kahambe eBanfi, but it goes down to the community, it goes to mama semsigene mnigima, so that money ibhode kithi ku township. In our schools, let's have that. Nxa siseChabalala, when I was saying you are in Chabalala, our schools in Chabalala, it should be my mandate. There's a greenhouse there for agriculture. There are computers there. We can do this together. Yes, not to be waiting for someone. Yes.
But there's been a huge debate around the issue of color, from parents as well, from teachers as well. Yes. I saw there was the amendment and also the consultation for color. Yes. But what's your take on the issue of color? And also looking at the child in rural areas in terms of color.
Yes, I think color is expensive. Color is expensive when we say quality and equitable education. Color is not for everyone. It has specific people. That is a challenge. I think also we can't have examination and colors at the same time. We need to deal with the one so that we have educate. I think colors, they should just, I don't want to give a judgment, but between the two, we can't have that together. Yes, it's expensive. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on now to your educational expo. I know you did one in Chabalala. Let's speak about the educational expo. What is the expo all about?
Okay, the expo is we're bringing education to the community. We can't have people seeing education in news. One of the things that we do, we go beyond formal discussions. We just want to deal with the practicality, the reality on the ground. Go to Chabalala, you find young people in the streets. Why are they in the streets? Whilst there is Westgate in Chabalala. It doesn't make sense. That's why we are there as Youth Zunde. We advocate. I'm an advocate. We will advocate for them. We want you to move from these streets. We will lob them to those institutions. We can't have that. So at the same time, we are addressing the root cause. We're not addressing the leaves. We have addressed the issue of drugs. I've seen we've talked more about drugs, but I think we're addressing the leaf, not the root. But education, by investing in education, we will lob them into schools. So what we're doing there, we're going to Chabalala. It's by community. I can't go anywhere before I go to Chabalala. We went there and find the statistics, and then what we do now, what is happening now is stakeholder engagement, which we are engaging. We want to see who is who. We know who sells drugs in the community. The good thing about it, we know who are into drugs. We know who are not going to school. We know the reason. So that's why we did. So we called universities. We talk of nasty. They were there, Lupane State, Pulawe Poly, also some businesses, Lupane Veggies, to come and inspire the community. See juice, see Kemesana juice, see the innovation that is here. We can't have people in streets. Whilst we have institutions like that. So the other point that we are trying to address is the competitiveness. That's why we are bringing also entrepreneurship. Where speakers like Mazivisa Nkosana, Sharon Tube from the BRICS. We want you to have access to these things, so that at the end of the day, besides education, you can also have your own projects. So that is what we're trying to address there in Chabalala, that we should improve our access to education, and also we want you to be competitive. That's what we're addressing.
But also maybe speak of people in the streets, like find maybe aggressive and people of school-going age, moving around the street. Does this speak of issue of affordability of education sector? Say it's expensive. I'm looking at the price now of maybe university prices for school fees. It's quite expensive. Yes. But can people afford those exam fees and also tuition?
Yeah, the schools are now expensive. Yeah. Then on the other hand, we have government schools. They are not expensive. there. Okay, that's why I said the government is a bit trying to right to education, though on quality. So my point is, ungazibhadala umntwana esikolo esikolo uyabhange ngayo esikolo kathesi ungazumbhadala ungazumbize mahara kasoke ehambe esikolo. So that's why I see ukuthi we need to participate.
So what caused the dropouts now, the high increase of dropouts, of school dropouts?
Quality education. There is no quality education. There are no jobs. It doesn't make sense that I have a degree, then I go back to the streets. So that is what is causing that quality. There is no quality. That's why they don't go to school.
So how do you address the issue? Say, now I'm a degree student, right? Yeah. I'm out of school now. I'm out of university, but I can't find a job. What I'm learning at university is not what I found on the ground. Yes. Right? I'm learning these big words and so on and so on, but on the ground, how do I make money? I'm a vendor. Yes. How do you address the issue of saying my degree must also be what I found on the ground?
Yes, I think what we have to accept as a nation, I like it, you are a football fan. Yeah. If you are not supporting Liverpool, I don't know. So what I acknowledge is, you see Saudi Arabia, they have a goal and they are being practical in that goal. That is their goal. They say we identify teams which we can bring foreign players. They are now Cristiano Ronaldo's there to bring practicality in their goal. We come back to Zimbabwe. That's why we have our Spaces Youth, Zunde Ilima. We are the Cristiano Ronaldos to bring practicality, to shift, to say we can use sports as a force of economic. Coming to your question, I think it's high time as a nation we accept entrepreneurship and SMEs because they contribute a lot to the GDP. I think it's high time, maybe for Zimbabwe, we say we have 10 provinces. Let's identify a skill force. Let's build skill force of entrepreneurs, at least 1 per or 10 per province. And then these people, they also contribute. So that is what I think we need to, should be practical in Education 5.0. So that at the end of the day, we don't have a graduate who comes out and goes to the streets, but he comes out and goes and does his projects or whatsoever. So SMEs and entrepreneurship are the way to go now.
But in this notion, in terms of, I can bring this debate to you and say, some people can argue and say it's not the job of the government to create jobs. Yes. What's your take on that?
I think that's why we say we should have a balance there. The government should contribute, and we also have to contribute. So with the reality that is happening now, the other party, we need to contribute on ourselves. Yeah, that's what I can say on that.
Right, quite interesting there. But now also the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education was speaking, Mr. Torerai Moy was speaking around the issue of scrapping grade 7 exams and have a continuous assessment from grade 1 up to form 4. Yeah. So the first exam is going to be O-level. Yeah. What's your reaction to that sentiment?
That was a powerful comment from Honorable of scrapping grade 7 exams. But which criteria are we going to use now to go to Form 1? You see that now we are...
Is they're going to use their third term?
Third term, yes, report, yes. Yeah? You see now, third term, we may write third term and then we mark and then we don't have fair results. From Masuku Primary and Mahlabe Zulu, we don't have fair results there. Ukonoza favor. So we are now disrupting equality. So I think the minister gave our reasons. We can't have grade 7 able 3 months on holiday. What is happening during that holiday? That's why we see people moving to drugs, teenage pregnancies, or that. So I think, as I said earlier, between color and exams. I think, how about we write exams maybe October? Then after October, we use October and November to write those colors at least, so that they don't have a space whereby they are doing nothing. Or we totally write exams towards November, towards closing, then they back during the holiday and we give our teachers money. That is to motivate them still. So I think the reasons of the minister, they were just powerful. But I think on our quality, you see, we have to maintain our competitive as Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Mayibongwe, you've been vocal about the girl child and also ending period poverty. I know you've been working in rural areas. Talk to us about that.
Okay, ending period poverty. I said earlier that we are disrupting the status quo. We are doing stakeholder engagement. There is a policy that says a girl child should have free sanitary pads. You know, sex is a choice, and condoms are free. But sanitary pads are not free, they are expensive, yet period is natural, it's not a choice. We are advocating for that. A sanitary pad is $50 or $2. That's a lot. That's a lot. We can have a money for the whole year to start a project in rural areas there. So what we're doing there is advocacy. We are saying end period poverty. Let's have the government, let's have the private sector, let's have NGOs or anyone distributing, alternating the sanitary pads to those places. Even here in Bulawayo, we face that period poverty is everywhere. So what we are doing is, while we are doing a stakeholder engagement policies, it takes time. So that doesn't mean that there's no manifestation in the ground. So we deroy and do some donations. That's what we did yesterday. It was so massive. That's a border town, Vaka. That's a border rural area. There are many human rights violations. That was powerful. We did it, and everyone was just happy. We managed to get the people who smack and go to Botswana side. They were there. We had such people. We had conversation with them. It was just wonderful. I like how Youth Zunde has been in the past 2 months.
But also, I've been part of the different rural areas of Zimbabwe. Yeah. I've experienced to see the girl child using maybe newspapers, using leaves as a way of pads, right? Yeah. Maybe paint to us a picture of where you've been in terms of Blamut and other areas we've been. How is the state of period poverty in those areas?
Yes, period poverty. We had a story last year of in rural areas where the woman was using mud, cow dung, imagine. Yeah, imagine. So we went there. There's a crisis. They use leaves, like you are saying. They can't access to those sanitary pads. Or some of them, they are using cotton. It's it's bad. It's devastating. So we are saying, how are we we are saying we SDG with equality. If we are saying equality, we are saying what the boy does, also a girl child should. You see, we are here, it's because of our mothers. We say educate a boy, you are educating an individual. But educating a girl, you are educating the whole village. So I think our girls have proved that they can be. We have girls in the government, we have girls in top places. They have proved that they can also do it. So for them to reach there, let's address the challenges that they face. Period poverty, that thing is big. On health, also emotional intelligence, period poverty, we should address that. Yes, I'm glad we have organizations like Pusheka and Girls Talk. They are doing massive. We need to participate and also engage with them. Let's do it. Yeah.
Guys, if you're just joining us, this is the Breakfast Club. This is Asako Online. My name is Brighton. And today my guest is Mayibongwe Maseko, the leader of Youth Zunde Ilima. I'm talking to us about period poverty and also the importance of education in Zimbabwe. Mayibongwe, there's been this huge thing about drugs and substance abuse. Yes. Also now, Vuzu parties now. Yeah. I saw one documentary of Vuzu parties. Quite shocking, man. Yes. What can be done to address the issue of drugs and Vuzu parties in Zimbabwe?
Okay, thank you. I think we also need to participate. I talk more about participation. So when you Youth Zunde, we come, we deal with the roots, not the leaves. So I think what we have done in the formal discussions, we just talk in the abstract way. You know, there's a difference with us as when he goes to he just goes to the office, sometimes he goes to the car, big cars, to the helicopter. But us, we go to the court. We know who are into drugs. We know we are the people who can fix drugs. So how do you do? I think we need to be active also on education and also on community projects. We need incubation hub. Youth Zunde will be an incubation hub. We need incubation hubs in communities whereby we're saying young people engage here. Also, we need young people participating in leadership. It's been long since but they are capable. If we are driving a clean Bulawayo, use young people, you'll see. They are capable. So I think it's high time we also engage them. As we're engaging them, they are running away from such things, drugs and whatsoever. So we need incubation hubs. We need projects, especially starting from the schools. Because at the schools, I believe the first is the school. Why? Because the school, that's where there's peer grouping. Peer grouping comes from the school. That's why you see NGOs, before they go to the community or churches, they go to the schools first. Go to the church, you find less people, but in the schools, that's where they are big. So let's start at schools. Let's have projects whereby we don't allow our students to engage in this, and we have them in such programs. And that we also participate as a community. If you are selling drugs, stop it. If I know who is selling drugs, let me go to him or her. Let's participate. We can't have that in Bulawayo. That is another thing that is making Bulawayo dirty. aside from litter, we can't have people in drugs in Bulawayo. So we need to do that active. It's so sad to see young people in drugs. They are selling drugs at a young age. We need to take those people and try and address their issues. That's what I'm talking about. Projects, yes.
You speak of the youth hubs.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Bulawayo youth centers that are there in Bulawayo.
Yeah.
Are they servicing the modern youth? Do they appeal to you or appeal to me? What can be done to make them modernized and appeal to young people?
No, they are not modernized. You see, when we talk about incubation, we talk about technology. We need technology spaces in Bulawayo. We talk of the great Silicon Valley.
But also, I can give an example. There was a booth somewhere in Bulawayo.
Yes.
I think many booths are solar powered.
Yes,
we can go and charge your phone, the public in Bulawayo. But 2 weeks later, I found them vandalized. So even if you bring technology, will they not vandalize these things in public places?
Yes, you have a point. The vandalizing is everywhere. I think we can't talk of security, but I think we need a point whereby we all want this. But if one of us doesn't want it, so I think we need also to find spaces where you can put them. You don't just go and put an incubation up or a booth. We fag down the market. Let's have spaces where we know that this is a safe space for young people. What are you expecting? So I think we need to look for spaces that we can have such, because yeah, I think, but we are trying in those apps. We see them, but no, we are Bulawayo. Let's do our thing with standard, yeah.
I know you've been vocal about local authority and also young people taking up space.
Yeah.
What's your comment on the current crop of councillors that are there now? Newly sworn in councillors in Bulawayo?
Thank you very much. You said it at the first. I'm one person who have respect with education. So I like how they are doing their things. You know, education should just be the key. Because in the council, that's where we have big books of tenders. So if they find someone who is not there with an education background or what, it will be a mistake. Not to say we don't acknowledge other councillors. I love everyone. I believe that in leadership, don't take someone for granted. The past council, they did their part. Now it's the time for this council. So what I'm saying is I love their education. You see, in Bulawayo, we are at a point whereby we don't want the money from a government to run Bulawayo. We need innovative ideas to run Bulawayo. Number one, I always talk about this private partnership. Number two, we need to use our diaspora. Let's use them to develop Bulawayo. Number three, we talk of twinning. One councillor always talks about that, and I like it. Let's have twinning. Imagine Papa Fifth twinned with Anfield. So we need such people who are saying they have innovation in their ideas. That is also corruption. Corruption is an enemy of any progressive society. So we need also to deal with the corruption. How are we dealing with corruption? Let's have an inventory of council property. There are many council property. Let's deal with them. Let's see what we can do. The Asbury farms is something that let's see what we can do with those so that we can have money that comes to the city council to increase the revenue, and then we lighten bills on residents. That's my take on the council for the next 5 years. I think they will do it.
What can you look forward to in terms of organization, youth, Zunde Ilima? What are you working on in the coming few months?
Thank you very much. The coming few months, we are preparing for end of year youth Indaba. We have addressed education. Indaba will address on the economic and the entrepreneurship. We are saying we are ending a year with that. And also, there is also going to be an awareness campaign on human rights. That is 10 December, Human Rights Day. There is going to be some awareness, which I can't talk about now, but that is what Zunde will do now. Indaba and then the awareness. So we hope to do it. What we do, we push. We don't have a financial monthly, but we push. We just do, we push. We know that this Indaba is going to be big. We want to have thousands of youths in Bulawayo attending Indaba. We are saying Bulawayo muhle bantu bakithi. Let's come together. Let's develop our Bulawayo. Aside from politics, we are doing it without politics. We're just doing it in the civic space. Yes.
In closing, I see you're wearing a pink ribbon. There is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes. What can you say to men and women in terms of going out there to get their breast checked and screening? And also remember the other day I was interviewing some women who are focused on breast cancer. They say men are scared of going for screening. Why are men scared of going for screening?
Yes. I think we are all just like how we are scared of death. But there's a time where we should be. We claim kuti singamadoda. we should be strong when it comes to these things. We need to be strong for all mama. We should be together. We need support. We need to support them. They need the support from the children, from the family, and from the Asama daughter. So I think I encourage all men to also go with their mama. Let's go and do the screening. Let's be in this together. They are our wives. You see what your wife can do at home. Imagine what she can do to the community or to the business. Let's just support them. We are in this together. The Youth Zunde is here. It supports women, and we are here doing an awareness to cancer awareness month. We are joining the whole international community. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time this month, for joining us on the Breakfast Club.
Thank you, Ncube. Thank you. This is a wonderful space. Congratulations to
Thank
this.
you so much. Thanks so much, guys, for watching the Breakfast Club today. I was joined by Mayibongwe Maseko, the leader of Youth Zunde Ilima, talking to us about the importance of education, the importance of Bulawayo, and doing our own things as Bulawayo in terms of embracing technology and innovation. I hope you guys enjoy the show, and please do have a pleasant day.